I assure you that the answer is the same. The answer is the same. Go on. So, the assumption of the question is that Charlie Kirk is a racist. Charlie Kirk went to a multi-ethnic church. Charlie Kirk was a Christian. Christians believe in the Catholicity of the body of Christ, which means that all ethnicities are joined together in the one body of Christ. Charlie Kirk did a number of initiatives, like the Black Leadership Initiative, to help lift up poor black communities, including taking and funding personally the visits of young aspirational black people to the White House to meet the presidents. Charlie Kirk had black friends. Does this sound like a racist to you? No, ladies and gentlemen. 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 That we have disproven the assumption it is not required to defend Charlie Kirk from the accusation of racism. It just requires the old left to stop lying about Charlie Kirk. Any other questions, ladies and gentlemen? Go on, Steve! Is it correct? Is it helpful to define and to describe the appalling murder of Charlie Kirk in terms of an attack on Christianity? Is it not reasonably clear that the murderer did it for political reasons? Whether it was false accusations of racism or him more likely his perspective on trans, bullets were transcribed with trans comments. And anti-fascist. Yes, it was politically driven. So let me answer that question. Brilliant. So Steve has asked a really important question. Steve asks it a question based upon an assumption that there is a separation between Christianity and politics. Charlie Kirk was murdered for his views on the trans ideology. That is very clear. And because the alt-left, in their vapid lies about anyone that disagrees with them, simply accuses everybody of being a fascist and a Nazi because you don't agree with the left. Even Steve, that's actually left-centrist, who gets accused of being a fascist by the alt-left. But, ladies and gentlemen, let's be clear. Charlie Kirk's views on the trans ideology are directly rooted to his Christian faith. They were an expression of his Christian faith. And so to murder Charlie Kirk for his views about trans ideology, with which I completely agree, means that it was a Christophobic and anti-Christian attack. And any left-wing commentator that celebrated the murder of Charlie Kirk is a Christophobic bigot that should lose their job, their reputation, their standing in society, and should be opposed. Well, that's it. Can I come back? Go on, Steve. It was evil. It was bigotry. Yes. Religion. I have shared his views on many subjects, particularly on trans. So I can be in the firing line of that there. That would be the Christophobic attack on it. Right, so ladies and gentlemen, the reason why Steve shares his views on trans ideology with the Christians is because of the Christian heritage of the nation. It was the Christian heritage of the nation that said there was two genders. Steve, inherit But we maintained it because of our Christianity, of which Steve is the inheritor. If Steve was shot because of that, you're right. It would be just political, not religious. But Charlie Kirk, his politics was influenced by his Christianity. His views on trans ideology were framed within a Christian biblical framework. That right, if you are a Christian, was meant for any one of you. The trans activists and the left are willing to kill the church. They are disrupting our church services, they are firebombing our churches, and they are killing us in the streets. And yet, so-called liberal bishops are trying to tell us that we shouldn't stand up for ourselves. I am telling every one of you that we as a Christian community must organize to safeguard our own security, our own protection. And that is the responsibility of every man in the church to step up and defend the church politically, culturally, economically, and socially. If we are attacked militarily, we have the right to defend ourselves militarily. Any other questions?
You say, like, from a Christian point of view, how do you think Charlie Kirk's killer should be punished, like considering the circumstances, like his parents handled it and that?
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe that Charlie Kirk should be punished according... No, sorry, my apologies. Quite right, thank you. What's his name? Stephen Tyler, is it?
No, Tyler.
Tyler Robinson.
Not Tyler.
So